Hi, what's going on guys? Liam here, and in today's video I have a commentary for y'all, and we're going to be doing something a bit different on the channel. We're basically going to be doing a review of 5th Age PvP, and why personally I think it is very mediocre at best, and a lot of this video is going to be objective data. I'd say maybe a good 85% of it. As always though, I will be offering my opinions, and there might be a very minor amount of, subjective points in this video because it is my video after all. If you guys, do want to offer your opinions in the comments below, that is fine. Just be respectful about it as always. And if you are somebody who gets very offended by, criticism towards their school or anything like that, I ask you to either try and put that aside respectively, or either just click off the video. Alright, so you either take the red pill and we dive straight into this rabbit hole, or you take the blue pill and you go back to your regular life and nothing ever happened. So, without further ado, let's lose off of RNG and deck fail our way straight into this video. So the 4th Age PvP being objectively the longest lasting age ever in the history of Wizard101, it's fair to say that a lot of players were in desperate need of change. Now personally, as somebody who is newer to the game, I've been playing about 2 years as of now, so that's about halfway through 4th Age PvP's life cycle. To me, after I got Warlord, there was really no incentive to keep playing the game, and a lot of that was because of how bad the metas were. You had a bunch of people cheating, exploiting, or jading, taking you to timer, mana burn, king art yaga, a lot of just like very easy formulaic strategies, and a lot of cheating as well in the age, and you just didn't really know how a lot of players got their rank. It's fair to say a lot of the community was kind of fed up with the state of 4th Age, and players wanted to get off on an even ground and even start, which obviously is what 5th Age was. KROGER promised a polished product for 5th Age PvP, and that left a lot of players hopeful, as of myself, and for the most part, there's a lot of nice stuff, which we'll be getting into in the next point. There's a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of rocky territory as well as of any game development, right? There's a lot of bugs. There's a lot of new stuff. There's a lot of great stuff in this update. Don't get me wrong, right? But at the same time, I know KROGER wanted to make PvP a lot more of a fair system as compared to 4th Age. Again, like I said, there's a lot of cheating and boosting and, jading in 4th Age PvP. KROGER really strived out to try and fix those issues in 5th Age, and for the most part, they actually have fixed some of that, but not a lot of it, so it is a step in the right direction in that sense. As a player, you want to be rewarded for playing well at the end of the game, and a lot of the time, in 4th Age PvP, you didn't really have that gratification, I guess you could say, and with 5th Age coming out, especially at the start, actually, personally, I had a lot of that playing on, a lot of the different schools. There's a bunch of new Spellements, bunch of new cards, bunch of new strategies, bunch of new gear, right? It was actually really fun at the start of 5th Age PvP, and, I gotta give KROGER credit where it's due right there, obviously, but, as things go on with time, people find out what the most annoying meta thing is, and here we are again. KROGER also did deliver on the gear audit as well. It's a more controversial point in the community, which we'll be talking about a little bit in the future of this video. But for the most part, we got a new arena, stuff works, they delivered on the gear audit, there's a lot of good and bads of this stuff, and I just wanted to give a brief summary, I guess, on, what the mentality was going into 5th Age. So again, I would say players wanted to feel more rewarded for winning, and they didn't want to feel cheated out of a win. At the start of 5th Age PvP, honestly, it was really good at the start, but as of right now, players have found a bunch of broken other things in the game, really, and, we're kind of back to where we were before, but it's not as bad as it was before, basically, is my overall summary of this point. So we're going to be going over the positives in 5th Age PvP right now. Now, there are a lot of positive stuffs, a lot of positive changes, and, This is my opinion. Keep that in mind for this part. This is my opinion on what I think has improved, and a lot of it is, objective improvement as well. And you guys can let me know what you guys think about these points in the comments below as well. So, a couple things that got started off really is PvP is now free. If you guys do recall, they did put the paywall back up, and the community got so pissed off, and now it's back to being free to play, which is absolutely great. Alright, so my next 2 points, I'm gonna bundle them together. I have more items being free to play, obviously at the crafting vendor. I forget what the guy's name is, that little rat guy in the arena. He's pretty cool. Then there's also more PvP incentives. So for example, right now, rank is pretty legit now as compared to 4th age. 4th age was, a lot of boosting. It was a lot of, sus stuff really. And you can actually grind like cool cosmetic gear that you can only get in PvP right now, like the deck ones and the warlord robe and the knight's robe and stuff like that. This crown's gear as well that is PvP only, which is pretty neat in my opinion. So I think that definitely is a step in the right direction in my opinion. Again, let me know what you guys think about them in the comments below. Another positive I have is KROGER implemented a proper battle pass in PvP. Now, Griff and I made a video about this a while ago. It didn't get much traction because I dropped it right when test realm came out, so a lot of you might not have seen it, but we did come up with the idea of, having a PvP battle pass. And honestly, the rewards are really good. Like, even the free stuff, the stuff you don't have to buy the battle pass for, is really solid. Like, you get 4 double pet XP elixirs, I think, per character. So if you PvP on a lot of characters, you're getting a lot of great items from that PvP battle pass. And personally, I bought it on, I think, almost every character because I support this kind of monetization for KROGER. Like, I'm very happy with what they did here, and I think it's great. Next thing I want to talk about is the league specific leaderboards. I think this is a good thing in my opinion. It kind of does, divide the community a little bit, but I like to see, who's the best at max PvP, who might be the best at Exalted, because, there's a bunch of different leagues of PvP, a bunch of different skill gaps there as well. It's like a different game. Are there shads? Are there no shads? Is there 10,000 health? Is there only 4,000 health, right? There's a lot of stuff that goes into play and a lot of different, mini metas. So I think the league-specific leaderboards actually is a step in the right direction as opposed to the just big leaderboards in general that we had in 4th age PvP. Another thing I want to talk about is the elo system. Now, this is a little bit controversial, and I want to say I do like the idea of elo. KROGER could have messed it up even more. It's a flawed system right now, but I do believe it is a step in the right direction. So, I don't know. I guess I want to offer my opinion on how I would fix it. So, really, the only issues right now with it are, if I'm a marshal right now and I play a marshal who is, equally skilled as me, but he's a private on his other character, it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to lose a ton of rank to somebody who's equally skilled as me, so it's kind of like, So, I don't know, maybe KROGER could look at, like, games played, or, I don't know, like, previous ranks to determine that, because, if we take Stefan, for example, Stefan has a pretty good rep for being a decent player at the game, right? So, let's say I'm on my Storm, and Stefan is playing his first game on his Fire Wizard, and my Storm is a Marshal, and Stefan is obviously a Recruit, right? I'm playing a very good player, right? But I will be losing so much if I lose that, right? Or if I beat him, I'm not gaining anything from it, even though he is a very good player. So, I do think that would be one good thing KROGER could change. Also, I do think that maybe higher ranked players should be getting more elo per win. I know personally, I've only gotten 2 elo a win, so I think putting a hard cap at like 5 per game is good. Whether it's a recruit, whether it's a sergeant or whatever, just have a bottom line hard cap, because right now it's like 1, 2, 3. It's insane. It's crazy. It's impossible to get Warlord, Some players have almost got up there, which is, good for them. But I think right now it's a little bit too strict. Again, I do want it to be hard to get Warlord, but I think it's a little bit too over, I would say if 10 was a perfect system, I think it's probably at about a 12 right now. 1 to 10, perfect system. I think it's a little bit too hard on the difficulty scale, so bring that down to a 10 as opposed to a 12, where I think it would be at right now. Another thing I want to bring up is there's a lot of variety in PvP for the future at Wiz, right? With leagues being introduced, one thing I noticed as well is in each league, there is about, you know, three playlists, give or take, right? And you have like the Battle Pass is one of them. You have obviously your Premier League, normal PvP league, whatever. But they could also have like a Premier League with no shads, right? So you could have a bunch of different playlists inside each leagues, right? So Premier League, you could have shads on, shads off, healing on, healing off, critical on, healing off, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like there's so much endless replayability that KROGER could really do for this, and I think that's a great idea, you know? I would like to see who's top of the leaderboards on a no critical, no shad rating 150 league, right? I'd like to see who's top of the leaderboards with a, you know, normal PvP league right now, right? There's a lot of variation, and, you know, this is a good step in the direction, in my opinion, for, you know, the health of the game. Another positive I have is there's a brand new arena area. Now, you guys saw me running around in that in the introduction and the expectations part. Honestly, I love it. I'm gonna be honest. I love the new arena. I think it looks great. I didn't expect them to, you know, they outdid themselves with this. I'm gonna be honest. It looks really good in my opinion. One minor complaint I have though is it feels like a long walk to the kiosk, and I know it's something like a little bit nitpicky, but I wish you had like a little teleporter at the door. If I could just teleport like near the kiosk to like save myself that, like, I don't know, 20 seconds of running. I think it'd be a really nice quality of life improvement. Also, there's the new Heap Arena, which is honestly just an iconic arena at this point, you know. Players loved Heap in Lemuria. It's my personal favorite area, I think, in the entire world, or my second most favorite. I'm not entirely sure what is my favorite, but I know a lot of players loved that area, and KROGER took that and capitalized on it and made it an arena. So great job, KI on that, identifying you know, what your fans like, and, you know, making that into an arena. It's a beautiful looking arena. Another thing I want to bring up is there's been more communication for the most part. At the time of me recording this though, there hasn't been a lot the past like week and a half or so, but at the launch of 5th Age, the devs were just, that they were going off. They were working. I think Raptor was on overtime and stuff like that. You know, Cam, you know, he works pretty hard as well. I know that. The devs are just, you know, really doing what they can for the most part right now. I think right now they're kind of in a, you know, a chilling period, kind of. I don't know if that makes any sense, but they're just letting the meta play out, and, you know, they want to evaluate what players are doing, what they think is the issues and stuff like that, and that'll probably be changing in Season 2 of 5th Age. Another thing, again, this might be a bit controversial, but the game is just objectively less pay to win now. There are obviously some things that you cannot earn as a free-to-play player. I don't know, for example, the Peppergrass bundle came out today as of me recording, and I don't think there's any free-to-play way to earn that, and, you know, that's fair, I guess, but what if, like, the boots in that were, like, the best boots in the game for, like, half of the schools, right? KROGER would, you know, need to make that free-to-play. So I'm hoping that more stuff gets added to the little rat guy in the arena. You know, maybe mounts like Clockwork Courser, stuff like that. I think that's really, really great additions to the game, in my opinion. And, you know, that just, I hope they just keep it coming for the most part, because right now they're striving a bit more towards pay for convenience and not pay to win. And personally, as a consumer and, you know, content creator, I support this idea more than what they've done in the past. Do I think it's perfect? No, not really, but I think, you know, if they keep working at making it more consumer friendly, I think we'll be at a good end result in the future. For my next point, I'm going to talk about the merciless gear audit. Now, I know a lot of players and a lot of the community is very unhappy with this change, including myself. I believe, as of the time of me recording this video, it should be last week's video. I made a video on this, which is really confusing, I know, but check out Lost Griff's video. He made a great video explaining why, you know, the offensive schools got shafted with this merciless gear audit, and the defensive schools are really good because of it. So check out that video if you're tuned in to learn more about that. But yeah, I'm gonna be describing my points on why I think it is horrible. So again, I'm gonna bring up the same point Griff brought up in his video. The merciless gear for offensive schools is extremely underwhelming. Why does the Storm Robe have the same pierce as the Death Robe? And why does Death have more pierce than Myth and Fire, when Myth and Fire is supposed to be hitting harder than... and have more pierce than Death? Don't really quite understand that. Again, I'm not attacking Death with this. Death is just the only other school got that for some reason has the same offense as Storm in this meta right now, and that's not supposed to be happening unless I missed a KI Live where King's Isle announced that Death is supposed to be hitting harder than Storm now. So yeah, I'm not too happy about how they've handled it for the offensive schools. They just give them no accuracy, no health, no resist. Can't get perfect pips and perfect accuracy. It's just pretty bad for schools like especially Storm and Fire. And right now, weaker schools, again, they benefit the most from it because they don't get 160 damage. They get like 140, 150, which is more than they're supposed to have. And they actually get the extra resist and the extra block and the extra health. So they're actually having less diminishing returns than the offensive schools are having at the moment. Now, removing the cap probably wouldn't help out that much. I just think it really needs to be toned down for schools like Life, Ice, and maybe even Balance. Death for sure. They just need to be having lower damage in general right now, because it's just out of pocket, man, you know? You see Ice is with 70 resist right now, like 12,000 health just about. The same damage as a Storm, still 30 pierce, and they have like 4,000. It's mental. It's mental, right? And like open A bombs are doing like 2,000 now, and it's just like, bro, what? So I really think it needs to be toned down, especially for the defensive schools. Even on my Ice, an open Shatterhorn should not be doing like 3.2. That is just absolutely nuts. Granted, my Ice doesn't run the broken Ice build. He actually does run Glass Cannon. It's just, I really think they maybe should look at the Highland gear, because at the end of the day, I am happy that as a defensive school, I can choose and make the choice to play offensive with Merciless gear. I'm very thankful for that. Don't get twisted here, guys. I enjoy loving Glass Cannon on my Ice Wizard, and I actually do give up some stats to run Glass Cannon on my Ice Wizard. But, you know, with the Highlands builds and stuff like that, you just don't give up enough, and it's just kind of mental at the moment. Another thing I have to bring up is the dual school functionality isn't really being used. You see Kingsaw really trying to, you know, make Storm use like Luminous Weaver, make Balance use like A-Bomb and stuff like that. It's a cool concept, but the gear still isn't that good. Personally, as somebody who likes to play mono school, which means like I like to play one school, I want to play Storm the way Storm is meant to be played. I can't speak English, good god. I want to play Storm, right? Why can't I just have good Storm gear that doesn't have life damage? Why can't I just... Why isn't there an option for me to audit my Merciless Robe right now, take out the life stuff, and then add that life stuff onto more Storm damage, more Storm crit, more Storm pierce? Or what if I could audit... If I could take away the pierce and the damage on the life right here in this robe, and then put that functionality towards resist on the robe? So, I don't know, just kind of like, you know, some food for thought there about, you know, doing specific audits on your pieces or gear. So for example, what if I don't know, lower my damage to bump up my accuracy, or I take away all my accuracy to put all my pierce on that? I don't know. Something like that could be cool. I just thought of that on the spot actually. I didn't even have that written down on the script, which is pretty funny. But point is here, defensive schools objectively are doing way too much damage right now, and objectively they do get better stats because of how the diminishing returns functionality does work, right? They get better resist, right? The damage count doesn't really hit them very hard as it does the other schools. They get more health, which obviously isn't intersected, and stuff like that. So that is basically my main point I'm trying to bring up right here. Another thing I briefly spoke about before was the dual school agenda seems really forced upon. I like this robe. I want to play offensive Storm, but I hate that I have to deal with the life and the life pierce and like the life stats. I don't want that. I want to play mono Storm. I want to just play Storm and not worry about life stuff. So I really hope there's a Glass Cannon, you know, gear set for all schools, not just Storm, for every school, because I like playing that way. I hope there's a set where I can get better stats, but just not have to deal with the life damage and the life pierce in the future. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, you know, players who like dual schooling are, you know, you're wrong to like it. Again, I'm not attacking your opinion. I just personally, myself as a player, I would prefer, you know, playing Storm and only worrying about the identity of Storm, not, you know, worrying about Ice as a Storm or using a Myth Mastery as a Storm. So I don't know, that's just my personal take on that. If you'd like dual schooling, that's cool. Actually, check out my video. I did draining strategy on an Ice Wizard, actually, in Test Realm. So you should check that out if you are into dual schooling. I did a pretty crazy setup about that, so. Alright, so next up, I want to talk about the Spellements system in general. Again, I know this is a very controversial topic. You know, a lot of players like Spellements because they like the end game content. And that is cool, but I want to talk about more about how poorly they're implemented in general. I know me, I had to delete an entire max wizard just to keep up with competing in player versus player combat. So it kind of sucks, you know. I know a lot of people on the channel like watching death PvP, but you know, I had to pick one guy to go. It's either that or spend $150 for an extra character slot, right? So that's just a big red flag right away for max wizards because they cannot physically farm it at the same rate. Now, I know a lot of people like to say you can, but guys, you literally cannot. I've tried everything. I came up with the best cantrip, wooden chest retriever strategy, and the gauntlet thing, the replay gauntlet, it's not at the same rate. You have to put in so much more effort for not even the same amount. So objectively, guys, no, I'm sorry to tell you, you are wrong. You cannot get it at the same rate as low-level wizards are getting it right now, right? You can't compete with 30 seconds for 14 Spellements that are controlled. So that's just an objective fact, and I'm sorry if you guys think otherwise. Another thing I want to bring up as well, this is more something I've heard in the community, not really in my opinion, is, you know, Spellements for some schools are way better than others, you know. You look at Death right now, which is arguably one of the best schools in the game right now in a lot of people's opinions. And, you know, their Spellement systems are actually pretty poor for the most part at the moment, right? So then you look at Ice, for example. Ice got everything. Snowman is always a good move unless you're playing a balance. Wyvern's cracked. Colossus is cracked, you know. You compare that to Death, and it was like, wow, Ice has 3 really good cards, and Death has, what, 1? Or 0? I think it's 0, actually. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? You know, Storm, they're pretty mid with their Spellements as well. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure what KROGER could do to make this any better. Maybe audit the ones that just aren't being used at all by players. But I'm not sure if they really care to do it that much. So, I just thought I'd bring that up in this video because I've heard a lot about it in the community. Another thing I want to bring up is the lore Spellements are virtually impossible to get. I know Blasian right here. Blasian, that's his name on Twitch. I better not hear anything in the comments about that. He's been farming with... Well, I shouldn't expose him, I guess, but he's been farming every day, non-stop, I think ever since the Spellman update came out, and I think he is only at tier 2 on all of his lore spells. So again, every day, all night, literally ever since this update has dropped, and he's maybe almost at tier 3 on most of his cards. So they're pretty pitiful, I'm being honest, at Lore Master. I know KROGER wants to spread them out a bit more, and that's cool, that's great and dandy and all. But as of right now, you know, you gotta feel for people like Blasian, man. Like my boy, he literally has a mana pet on. He has a mana pet on, so he can farm even longer and longer and longer. Like the poor guy, and he's only about to get tier 3 literally every day, all night, ever since the update came out. Like, I just feel bad for the dude. I feel so bad for him. Then you got players that are just deleting maxes like me, farming for 2 days and getting tier 5. Then it's so unfair. It's so unfair. So I'd really like to see a buff to Lore Master, or, you know, KROGER just, you know, put it out to a lot more places, and be sure the drop rates are way better. I'm talking at least 5-6 times better than what Lore Master drops right now. Another thing I want to bring up too, as of me recording this video, Headless got Spellements, which is, that's one of the stupidest things I've seen. Headless is already above Death's damage per pip. Headless is a storm damage per pip card. Objectively, that is a fact. And they made it better and do more damage. To put that in perspective, I think a tier 5 Headless is the same as a treasure card Kraken for Storm. And I actually did some testing with my friend Bandit. I'm not sure if I'll have footage on screen right now, but a Headless literally does, if not more, it does literally the exact same as a Queen Calypso. Yeah, meta stats versus meta stats, Headless does the same, if not more, than Queen Calypso. And that's just mental, right? So you look at that, and also the Lore Master one. A lot of people are happy about Lore Spellements, but some people aren't because they get spammed tier 5 Lore Master like it was in the past, kinda. So that one's a bit more controversial again. But I don't know. I think, you know, maybe they need to look at some of the Spellements again. Like maybe if you audited Headless to make it death's damage per pip, and then maybe gave it a couple of damage, you know, 20 more damage for tier 5, maybe that's fair. But I don't know why they took an objectively broken card and then made it even better than Storm's damage per pip. I don't really get it. So I'd like to see them do a bit more auditing to the lore cards. But yeah, I would say they should probably buff the rates and buff, you know, the places you can get it, and then worry about auditing each lore card before the game is just unplayable with Death Wizards and Balance Wizards, really. Alright, another thing I want to bring up is the toxic environment in PvP. Now, I know KingsIsle has been putting in some effort to clean up the PvP community. Banning muted players from PvP has been, you know, the most controversial topic I've seen in Wiz, I think, probably ever, for me, at least personally. I'm not really going to dive deep into my opinion on that because I know it's a very sensitive topic, so I'm just going to stay away from it. But, you know, KingsIsle's effort is to clean up PvP, and their objective data says that that will help clean up PvP, so I will trust the numbers in that case, you know. So I don't know, but it's still just not enough, right? It's just still not enough, unfortunately. You have consistent people cheating. The Pierce Ring exploit, I still think, is out to this day. I think I've uploaded about 3 or 4 videos of people cheating. I don't think their rank has been reset. I could be wrong. I've heard rumors, but I don't know if it's true. But it's still in the game. You still have people Q sniping, going immune, stream sniping blatantly. It's just absolutely insane. The cheating is still kind of out of pocket. Again, that being said, though, objectively, I don't think players can really boost anymore. I don't think I've seen players boost unless they've done it on like the down low. They made it look like they're trying to play the game. I don't really know, but I know it's not anywhere near as big as a problem, the boosting in 5th Age as it was in 4th Age. Another thing I want to bring up is the toxicity in the arena drives away a lot of casual players. Now, this is something I've heard, and if you just, you know, think about it for less than 5 minutes, you know, as a new player, you know, you want to hop into PvP and be like, hey man, you know what, why are you using the Merciless wand over Supreme right now? You know, Supreme's pretty good too, right? If you ask that, chances are you're gonna get ignored or you're gonna get bullied and get called a noob by people in the arena, which honestly is kind of sad in my opinion. I wish, you know, the community was a lot more open and less toxic, but unfortunately it's just really, really not. So I would really hope, you know, KingsIsle really cracks down on making the PvP community a lot more vibrant, a lot more welcoming, and I don't know, just a lot more generous, I guess. Just, I don't know, there's just too much toxic behavior that's like allowed right now, and I think having everybody go to the same place to queue up doesn't help either. I know what they took out was, you know, the ranked kiosks at the house, which makes it a lot harder as a streamer and as a player to not get Q sniped, right? I have to walk up to the kiosk and hope there isn't some guy there that sees me and then sets for me, right? As a content creator, that severely increases my chances of getting Q sniped or stream sniped, right? So I don't know, or even like any good players, right? It's just, it's not very good. So I do like the idea of, you know, having a community all be together, but I do think there should be the option, especially for higher ranked players and content creators, to, you know, queue up away at their house or something like that, I guess. Alright, another thing I want to bring up is the accessibility. Now, this is going to be for, you know, more of the newer players, I guess, in PvP, right? People who want to get into it, but they don't want to go to the moon and back just to get into their first fair game, really, or quote-unquote fair game, because we are playing Wizard101 at the end of the day, right? So, this is more for the casuals, and I just want to say, you know, a lot of the casuals feel turned away on how complex PvP is, you know? You gotta make a nice pet, right? This pet right here on the storm, it took me $15 to make. I literally counted. It took me $15 to make this from scratch. And, you know, people who don't have very good pet RNG like myself, you know, why, you know, I'm already a paying member. You know, I already, you know, might have to buy a bundle for good gear or motorist robe or something like that, right? And then I have to pay another, I don't know, $5-10 to make a pet. And then, you know, oh, I need the rock mount now to get perfect pips. You know, it turns away new players, I feel like. And I think I know the devs know this, but I really hope they, you know, do something about it. Free-to-play items also take a while to craft, so, you know, if I'm Mr. Timmy 2022, you know, let's say that's my gamer tag or my username, whatever. Let's say I go in PvP. With my PvE build, I am going to get my butt kicked, okay? That's just how it is, right? That's just how it is, man. And how many games do I have to play before I can actually start crafting any good gear, right? For example, right here, if I want to craft the Merry wrapping paper, which is one of the best ones in the game for an ice wizard, right? How long does it take for me before I can craft something that is finally good? You know, like how much games do I have to get my butt kicked as a new player to get this product that I want? Now you can look at my stuff and see I've played a lot of PvP and I still can't even craft this yet. You know, I can almost craft it, but I need a couple more balance medals, which are, you know, that's RNG, and I think that the higher rank you go, the more odds you have at getting it. So, you know, that's a problem in of it itself, but yeah, I don't know. I just really think this turns away a lot of new players, in my opinion. If you guys are new players, just feel free to let me know in the comments below if, you know, this is some stuff that has went through your mind. Another thing is the Black Empower market or whatever. You know, as a Storm, for example, I need a lot of good cards, you know. Stormbird, I need, you know, 3 pip catch of the day. I need, where is it? Rain Beetle. Rain Beetle is a very, very important card for Storm Wizards, right? And you can't get this off the vendor. Even if you could right now, again, stuff is just overpriced at the moment, and I think it should be toned down. So, you know, I think, you know, you should add all the popular cards like Myth Banshee, Stormbird, Beetle, add it here so we can, you know, have more people in the game. For example, some guy, you know, might look up Sauce's deck video or my deck video, and, you know, they see Myth Banshee, but guess what? You can't get Myth Banshee unless you, you know, have to do some shady business with somebody on Gamma's trading post, right? Or you have to, like, go to the comments and wait and hope somebody helps you, right? That's not a good system. So, I think if they, you know, added all these rare TC to the vendor and, you know, made an appropriate price, it would also incentivize more people to get into PvP. And I know personally, I would just be happy about it as well. So I want to talk about the meta. Also, real quick, if you guys are still watching the video, you guys are real ones. This video has been really long and really tiring. I think as of the time of me recording, I've been working on this for 6 hours. To put that in perspective, I put like about 2 hours in my videos per day usually. So I've been working on this for a long time. So I appreciate y'all. If you're still watching, you guys are real ones. Drop a like, honestly, man. It helps out a lot. And yeah, let's talk about the meta. So right now, the meta kind of has, you know, come full circle. We started with Storm being the best, and now Storm is bottom of the barrel with Life and Fire at the moment. And KingStyle has really, you know, stepped out of the arena. Just they have said, hey man, here's 5th Age. Let's see what happens. Let's not update anything. Let's just see what happens and see how players react. And, you know, I get that. That's fair. There are some pros and cons to that. Like, you know, they haven't fixed the exploit in the arena, which does suck right now. So, yeah, that's that. But yeah, right now, you know, I'm just gonna quickly go through every school right now. Balance, Brace, Mana Burn, Myth, Mandar, Death, Headless, Minotaur, Grim Reader, Life, just Luminous and Hope You Win, honestly. Fire, Trapstack, Storm is actually arguably one of the more versatile schools at max right now. There's a lot of combos you can do. You can go for like an Owl Strike play, you can go for a Triton into a Ursulka, you can go for a Thunderbird into something, you can Beetle into the Thunderbird, Thunderbird into the Beetle into the, like, there's so much you can do with the Storm, so I think Storm is actually the one school that, you know, got nice in this update in terms of, you know, ways to play the game. And then you have Ice, which is Snowman, Frostbite into the A-Bomb with broken stats. So, I think I covered all 7 schools there. If I didn't, I'm an absolute idiot, but I summed that up in about 40 seconds, I would like to think. So, again, very formulaic aside from Storm right now in the current meta, so not too happy about that. Objectively, I know Kingston knows, you know, Death is overtuned right now, so I hope, you know, they, you know, make stuff more balanced and where it should be, because it really sucks to lose when you know what your opponent's going to do every turn, but there's just no counterplay involved whatsoever, and that's kind of what we're at in the meta right now. At the start of the meta, it was a lot of fun, though. Again, I think I said that at the start of the video. Start of the meta was a lot of fun when players were, you know, trying out different stuff, and they weren't necessarily sweating all the time, so I don't know. I just really hope they fix the problems in Season 1, and I'm really optimistic for Season 2. My last point I want to talk about is the RNG and bugs. I assume we're probably about half an hour into the video at this point. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I'm getting tired. It's 12 at night, and I started recording at like 4, I think 4 in the afternoon, so yeah, you guys can probably tell from the start of the video, and now it's like pitch black in the background. But anyways, back on topic. RNG and bugs. So first thing I have at the top of the list is shad rating being wildly inaccurate. So for example, I can run the Supreme Wand, which gives 20 more shads than the Merciless Wand, and I can get outshaded 2 turns by somebody not running Supreme, and it's pretty odd. I've had a lot of bad experiences with this. I know I talked to Cam about it. He told me to run Merciless and see how it feels, and it felt the exact same. I'm gonna be honest. I did it for a full week. It feels the exact damn same. Maybe, I don't know, 1 in every 5 games, you maybe feel like, okay, I got a shot on time. But, I don't know. A lot of players thought Merciless 1 was bugged. Like, it actually gave shad rating. And, you know, I talked to Rapbeard and Cam about that, obviously, because I want the game to be balanced. But, I think what they're going to do is, you know, either raise the shad rating or look at the shad rating as of itself right now. So basically the best way I can describe it is shad rating is just kind of RNG. So the more shad rating you have, the more, okay, so let's say I have a 70, with 140 shads, I have a 70% chance to get 18% shad rating that turn, right? That's fair, but if I have 120 shads, I have a 50%, right? So it's just the gap isn't big enough for running shad rating. Again, I'm not sure if that's the exact numbers. I'm just trying to paint you guys an example. A guy running 120 can outshad a guy who has a max shad rating, and I just think that's really stupid because I'm making the conscious choice to give up crit, block, damage, you know, stuff like that, to get the shad first, and I'm getting, you know, kicked in the butt by RNG right here, and it's been happening way too often. You know, myself, a lot of other players, Sauce, you know, a lot of other good PvP players as well. Everybody notices this, and I really hope King's Isle does something about it in Season 2. Critical system being unfair. My Storm runs 700 critical, and I don't crit on people with literally 350 crit. I've had games on stream when I'm running, yeah, like 697 crit, and I don't critical twice against a guy with literally 354 block, and it's like, huh? But then I have 600 block, and he has 400 crit, and he's critically every freaking hit, and it's like, bruh, what do you mean? Like, I don't know. I would just like to see a revamp in the crit system. Reward players for running higher critical if block is going to be so, you know, abysmal right now and so high. You know, I've seen Ices with 700 block to Storm and stuff like that, so I don't know, man. I just think, you know, if you have lower crit, your odds should go lower. So for example, as a Storm, if I'm running 540 critical, I should have a 65%. If I get that up to 700 crit, I should have about a 85%. I think something like that would be cool, and yeah, I just really think a revamp in the crit system to make it more fair and make more sense would help the game, and it would also restore Storm's school identity of having more critical than the other schools. Next up, I want to talk about the KROGER Jewel Maycast. Now, a lot of people have been winning off of D-Lances this game. You've seen it time and time again. Literally every single day, if you PvP actively, players will win off of a D-Lance, and I think they did nerf it because I think last year, Maycasts were like out of control. I think, was that last year, guys? I think it was. And still, just right now, they're just still out of control. So, personally, as somebody who has paid for about 3 KROGER Jewels, I would say the best way is probably to ban KROGER Jewels from PvP. Now I'm talking about, you know, ban the Maycast, keep the Lancelot, or whatever, what is it called? The, let me check here. Keep the, I don't have it on me. Keep the +5 pips for, you know, obviously the Pipple Plenty, but ban the D-Lance, ban the Brace, but, you know, keep the Defy, keep the pips, basically. I think that's the fairest thing to do. It makes it even for both, you know, free-to-play players who, you know, want to farm the jewels, and, you know, players who just want to pay for convenience, right? I want to pay to get that Defy, I want to pay to get that, you know, Pipple Plenty, stuff like that. I think that would be the best way to go about it for, you know, consumer and the balancing of PvP. There's still no system for deck failing in the game right now. You have matches where, you know, my 2 owls are literally the last card in my 40 card deck, which is, you know, just absolutely insane. You've seen, you know, me as well on stream have 3 Rusalkas in my main deck with a 4-row deck, and all 3 of my last cards are Rusalkas. Now, you can do the math on that, which is below 1% chance, I'm pretty sure. Kinda abysmal. I think, you know, making a better way to control the RNG of your deck would be great. I think, some things players have thought of is, I think there's, like, something in Pirate 101 where you can choose if you want something right away or a bit towards the end of the match. I don't know much about that. I don't play very much Pirate, but, you know, I figured if there's a dev watching, I've heard that in the community, you know, stir around a little bit. I think that could be a neat system for PvP. Then yeah, I don't know, we got a couple other things, like the rounding error making my freaking mood go bipolar, like, oh my god, I won! Wait, what, I lost? You know, like, stuff like that. Oh god, I hate it, right? Then also, you know, the visual errors with their Shambo, that can literally screw a new player over, right? If Timmy 2022 goes in the arena and, you know, you have a Glacial Shield on, 2 shields, and then they Jin's Defense, and they have 3, Timmy might think they have 3 shields, he might not know about that bug, and he might lose that game because this bug isn't fixed, right? So I'm not very happy about that, especially for the casual players. Then a couple of other nitpicks I have is not being able to say GG at the end of the game, and the Medusa overtime bug that doesn't follow any rules. So basically, if you get Medusa with an aura out, I think your aura goes 2 times faster, and you get booted out of Strike, I think is how it works. So kind of a problem. And, you know, last but not least, Ghost/Shadow Block, which is really stupid. It's in the game. We all know what's in the game. My buffed Rusalka with a crit doing 4k sometimes does 3.5. The only explanation is Ghost Block, so please look into it, KingsIsle. Either get it out of there or give us an indication if our player blocked that critical or not, please. But, yeah, I think that's really all I got for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I'm not really... I don't know. I think it's really mediocre, in my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You know, rate it 1 to 10. Do you guys think this is, you know, a 4? Do you think it's a 6? Personally, I'd probably put this at about a 6.5 or a 7. I would say a 7. I rate it 7 out of 10, honestly. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, if you made it this far, you guys are the real ones. It's crazy. It's crazy. The channel's been popping off lately, and I appreciate all the support. But yeah, if you guys are new, feel free to sub and leave a like rating. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, overall, I really am optimistic for Season 2. I think KingsIsle can get this stuff right. I have faith in the dev team and Rapbeard. And yeah, this has been, you know, Liam is a Vibe reporting on why 5th Age PvP is so mediocre. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.